Morning, everyone. So I've got 15 minutes or so to take you through the Heyday story and give you some insights into our patient demographic that we look after at our clinic. So I founded Heyday Medical with my younger brother, Dr. Jim Connell, in late 2020 following our mum's battle with pancreatic cancer, and saw firsthand how well cannabis medicine helped her get quality of life back for a couple of months during her chemotherapy. We've got a really strong founding story, and that gives us passion and direction every day to bring this really fantastic medicine to more Australian patients. Our aim as a company is to be one of Australia's most trusted cannabis companies. We're a team of 14 now across Queensland, New South Wales, Vic and Tassie, and we're all from a health background, and we're really focused on building a sustainable business for the long term. I'm a lawyer by training. We play by the rules. We're operating in a medical market. We're certainly not prepared to sacrifice patient care for short-term gain. And as a business, we're really working hard and have been from day dot to bring cannabis medicine from the fringe and into the mainstream as a viable treatment option for more patients. Like, our goal is to see cannabis medicine in every GP's toolkit. We really believe it's a frontline tool and should be used as a first-line therapy option, not as a second. So we're a clinic and a product business. We're very open about that. So from the clinic side of things, we've got a team of 5 doctors and a nurse, a diverse team of smart and compassionate GPs who have chosen to subspecialise in cannabis medicine and holistic health. Our clinic really works hard at finding solutions for our patients, often when other healthcare providers have fallen short or they haven't been able to have that aspect of plant medicine laid into their treatment regime from their regular GP or specialist. And we offer gold standard care at all points in the patient journey. We really believe that care just begins at the script. As a product business, we're very much focused on bringing truly unique cannabis medicines to the market and going beyond CBD and THC. Cannabis is a treasure trove of other active compounds, and we have a real focus on the minor cannabinoids in particular. Our current range on market is all Australian and New Zealand grown, sustainably under the sun, and that underpins our range of LSO products. From late last year, we started offering what we believe to be truly unique cannabis medicines onto the market for Australian patients. We're doing this with compounding partners at the moment with the aim to bring them across to GMP this year. So we're working with product formats like CBG Keef, low-dose microgummies, balanced microgummies, flower capsules, which use both decarboxylated and raw cannabis materials to harness the acidics, topicals, pessaries, suppositories, teas. We're run by the co-founding team. Is one side's a doctor who's got a very creative mind, so I did say to him, no more SKUs recently as we bring these new products to market. And as a business, we've got a real focus on less is more. And as a product business, we're not just focused on high THC flowers, although there is a role for them for some medical patients. So why product and clinic? In terms of the benefit side of things, there's certainly great knowledge that's from both sides that can really aid in terms of helping our patients navigate the medical access to cannabis in Australia. But we also understand it from the product company side and can talk to things like out-of-stock issues, pharmacy, distributor supply chain issues. It is a complex medicine to sometimes ascertain. From a product, I think the product innovation side is probably the most exciting aspect of having a seat at the coalface with our just over 5,000 patients. We really see firsthand the challenges patients have with taking their medicines, potency, format, and I think I'm a real believer that it's horses for courses with cannabis. What suits one patient, even if they're presenting with the same clinical condition, might not suit another, and having optionality is really key. And we also have doctors as advocates for our brand, which I think is really powerful, especially as we're trying to work with this medicine that's coming from the fringe into the mainstream. As a business, we really own our conflict of interest. There's many in the industry that have them. I think we're all about transparency, so it begins with the name. Heyday Clinic is our clinic team. We have Heyday Product. We've called them one and the same because it's the same people running the business. And it was important for us to make that known on the market at a time when that wasn't being made known. We have a very detailed Heyday Clinic code of conduct where we disclose to the patient the financial interest, for instance, Dr. Jim has in our clinic and our product business, that there's no coercion to prescribe Heyday products from our doctors. But we give patients, importantly, an avenue to access another member of the team if they don't feel comfortable having that conversation with their doctor about them having a hand in the development of the medicines that might be prescribed. And it's also done in person at the start of a consult. Our data, I'm proud to say, supports the fact that our clinic is product agnostic, and I'll show you some of that a bit later. So Heyday Clinic, we commenced consults in July 2021. There's just over 5,000 patients. Our youngest patient's 7, our oldest is 97. It's led by Dr. Jim Connell. And recently we've promoted our senior female doctor, Dr. Priya Ayer, to head clinic doctor. 85% of the work done is telehealth. There's some face-to-face consults done in both Sunshine Coast and Sydney. And honestly, it's been a big thing building a really comprehensive, reliable and smart team of GPs to work in this space, and we've really invested in our people, which starts, from the get-go with quite a lot of training and mentorship and sitting in on clinical consults prior to switching a new Heyday doctor on, and that training and mentorship is ongoing. So we have fortnightly roundtables with the whole team. On a Friday afternoon, we pay our doctors and staff to attend that so they can discuss complex cases from the fortnight prior. We talk about new products and delivery options that might be available for patients, and we often invite an expert into that session. Have had quite a few specialists circle through to see where that connection point can be made and understand it through the lens of other healthcare providers, which I think is really important. And we, attend events, we bring the whole team along, and we do team building. It's incredibly important to bring that cohesion together when we're running a remote predominant business, and we're really proud of the Heyday culture that we have. It starts with everyone wearing our funny t-shirts and goes on. So our approach at the clinic, 30-minute initial consults with a doctor, mandatory 5 to 6 week follow-up consult with that same doctor. There's a free nurse call option at the beginning before someone jumps onto a Heyday Clinic journey, but also nurse support throughout. We have a pretty detailed patient nurture journey that commences once a patient's seen one of our doctors, where there's 8 emails over the course of 6 months with really timely educational information and when they need it. Our patients come from a wide array of backgrounds, single or multi-condition. I often hear our doctors say the more complex the better. Often patients struggling with huge polypharmacy loads can sometimes respond the best. We work with cannabis-naive patients. We're probably one of the clinics that has the most cannabis-naive patients in that they haven't ever tried cannabis before, but also work with lots of cannabis-experienced patients. The rules, we're certainly not a clinic that's come in and shop around for the highest THC flower, but any cannabis-experienced patients that have a willingness to engage with our healthcare providers, potentially work on tolerance issues. We certainly work with patients from a harm minimisation perspective and like to consider alternatives outside of flower for those patients. And in terms of where they come from, it's largely 95% referral based. We have a lot of GPs and specialists that refer to our clinic, but really patient word of mouth. We have multiple families, whole family members we treat through the clinic, and we've done very little marketing so far because it's obviously quite hard to do. So just delving into some of the data, these are the different age groups across our clinic. As I said, 7 to 97 is the age band, but you can see the majority of our patients are middle age and actually slightly more female, which was heartening for me to see as one of the only female-led cannabis businesses here today. In terms of how that's changed since inception, we're now sitting at 50% male to female, the average age 43 and 44 respectively. In In terms of patient location, I think this is probably quite representative of the current industry norms. We've certainly got a slightly stronger Queensland contingent, given our first doctor was Queensland based. But great to see that we're supporting patients in the Northern Territory, really where the care's needed, where those complex patients are. The conditions that our Heyday clinic patients come through with, I think again, this is probably somewhat on par with industry norm, possibly slightly lower on anxiety and higher in pain and sleep and insomnia. There was a huge tail of conditions that didn't make it to this list. And I'll say that the way in which we gather this data at our clinic hasn't been, perfect. It's freehand, so we get whole patient stories. So actually bracketing people into just one of these conditions only is a little bit hard to do, and certainly many people come in with multi-conditions. So dosage forms commonly prescribed by Heyday clinic doctors. So looking at baseline or slower onset medications is often a primary tool. We work with CBD balanced and THC oils. They're commonly prescribed by our team. Although we're seeing a real shift to gummies and pastilles as those options come on board. We also have a Heyday range in that domain, and are seeing great uptake and compliance from patients who are wanting something that tastes better, is fixed dose, and more discreet and easy to use. We have a range of flower capsules, some Heyday flower capsules that utilise the acidic cannabinoids, which are also commonly prescribed as a baseline treatment. In terms of rapid relief options for patients that can be layered on as appropriate, we certainly work with flower. THC flower is commonly prescribed. We're big advocates for balanced and CBD flowers as well. These are commonly prescribed, not just for patients who benefit from those flowers in their regime, but also as encouraging tolerance breaks for people that are more users of THC flower. We're not doing a huge amount of liquid vape prescribing at the moment. I'd say our doctors are a little bit more conservative on that front. I think whilst we've got better comfort now around what's in them being, safer, I think it's certainly the ease of use that can be sometimes problematic for people prescribed liquid vapes. So we use them with caution, and would certainly be prescribing a lot more if they weren't just focused on high THC, but were more balanced or utilising minor cannabinoids. In terms of shadow diamonds, concentrates, I don't think we've written any scripts for those products yet. There may be a very slim medical use case for those products, but they're not something we have been utilising yet. And then finally, just to be truly transparent, if we want to be one of Australia's most trusted cannabis companies, we're proud of the fact that our Heyday clinic is product agnostic. You can see the prescribing practices of our 4 doctors here. I've mentioned some of the other brands our team do commonly prescribe. You can see a lot of it's around good value, consistent supply brands. And then I wanted to also give some data around the percentage of scripts written by our team that are compounded. So I just will point out that none of those scripts are for compounded flower. I don't see any place for those products in our current market, with great access to hundreds of flowers available under GMP. But most of, if not all of these products, are for the Heyday innovative range of flower capsules, microgummies, pessaries, teas that I mentioned before. And we're finding patients getting great relief with layering in minor cannabinoid therapies into their regime. Thank you.